C60 olive oil is a popular choice for people wanting to activate their full potential. Improved sleep, faster recovery, and more energy are just a few of the amazing comments received from our customers who take a spoonful a day. Make C60 oil a part of your daily routine and see what it can do for you. Activate your potential today at thec60company.com.
Nearly 200 people arrested across Australia for deliberately starting bushfires. Whenever there is a environmental catastrophe, of course the climate cult is on the case immediately, blaming it on climate change. And it really is a head shaker that you have people who are quite happy to exploit this absolutely shocking effect on Australians of the bushfires, that they're willing to exploit that for political ends, including, of course, Greta Thunberg reading her script and berating politicians for not doing enough about climate change and therefore being responsible for the fires. But here we have nearly 200 people arrested for deliberately starting them. And that's only nearly 200 that have been arrested. How many others have there been that have never been caught? And it's clear that this whole Australian bushfire story is not as it's being reported in terms of the cause. And we come back to the question, again, as we always should, who benefits? Who benefits from the fires? Well, one group of people who benefit are those that want to transform human society through the justification of we must save the world from climate change. And also driving people out of the rural areas into cities is massively part of the global plan. So here's the story. Australia's authorities have arrested close to 200 people for deliberately starting the bushfires that have devastated the country. Yet the media and celebrities continue to blame climate change for the disaster. The fires have caused at least 18 deaths, destroyed thousands of homes, millions of hectares of land, and killed hundreds of millions of animals. A total of 183 people have been arrested by police in Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia, and Tasmania for lighting bushfires over the last few months, figures obtained by news agency AAP show. In New South Wales, 24 people were arrested for arson, risking prison sentences of up to 25 years. I mean, think of the level of psychopathy it's necessary to have to light fires on purpose when you have already seen the devastation that other fires have caused. In Queensland, police concluded that 103 of the fires had been deliberately lit, with 98 people, 67 of them juveniles, having been identified as the culprits. The link between arsonists and the deadly fires that devastate Australia every summer is well known and well documented, with the rate of deliberately lit fires escalating rapidly during the school holiday period, says one report. Around 85% of bushfires are caused by humans either deliberately or accidentally starting them, according to Dr. Paul Reed, co-director of the National Centre for Research in Bushfire and Arson. Quote, about 85% are related to human activity, 13% confirmed arson, and 37% suspected arson. The remainder are usually due to reckless firelighting or even just children playing with fire. Reid also highlighted the link between school holidays and kids starting fires, commenting, school holidays are a prime time for firebugs, but especially over summer. The kids have got time to get out there and light, and the most dangerous adults choose hot days. But no, it's climate change because it suits the agenda. And what you have is this stream of mendacious propaganda. Whenever there is a hurricane, there's more hurricanes than ever. No, there's not. Or it's tornadoes, more. No, there's not. And so it goes on. Oh, the polar bears are dying. Oh, no, they're not. As the figures show. And you know, the Nazis talked about propaganda in terms of the bigger the lie, the more will believe it. And that's a big point of resistance for many people to actually see the scale of lies that they're being subjected to, because the lies are so massive and so constant that people's reaction is, no, they wouldn't lie that much. I know they lie, but I mean, they wouldn't lie that much. They can't all be lying. But of course, they're not all lying in the sense of defining a lie as saying something you know not to be true. What happens is the core lies, and then great numbers of people in science and the climate cult, etc., and in the mentality of the woke, then believe the lies and perpetuate the lies while thinking the lies are true. This is how it works. And then, of course, people who've been lied to and have repeated the lies and campaigned on the lies, they are massively resistant to information showing that they were lies because they don't want to admit either to others or themselves that they've been massively, unbelievably scammed. So you have all these pressures and forces at work that perpetuate the insanity that the gas of life, carbon dioxide, is a threat to the world. And if you keep blaming things like the Australian fires on climate change, then the real causes are pushed into the background and not addressed. One of the great ironies is that fire breaks that were once instigated in the winter in Australia to stop or make it more difficult for fires to jump the breaks and go into wider areas, they have not been happening as they did before because of pressure from the green lobby not to burn the forests. But if you don't burn some of the forest and create these breaks, then what is happening now happens. You have vast fires over vast areas. But no, it's nothing to do with ours. We woke Greens. No, it's climate change. Here's a classic on the same subject in another location. Glacier Park in Montana, set to remove glaciers will all be gone by 2020 signs because it's 2020 and they're still here. All these predictions all been not just wrong, they have been colossally wrong. But still, the same people keep spewing out new predictions. And the media reporting them. Here's the story. Montana's Glacier National Park is being forced to remove all signs that read glaciers will be gone by 2020 after the doomsday scenario didn't happen. Some of the signs were already removed last year as it became clear the prediction wasn't going to unfold. Now the rest of the signs will have to be taken down too. Glacier National Park spokeswoman Gina Kurzman told MTN News that the latest research shows shrinking, but in ways much more complex than what was predicted. Because of this, the park must update all signs around the park stating all glaciers will be melted by 2020. So instead of just saying actually it was a massively wrong prediction, so therefore the basis on which the prediction was made must be wrong. No. Oh, well, no, it's not happening. They're still here, but it's a bit more complex. Yeah, sure it is. In the late 90s and early 2000s, scientists predicted that man-made global warming... Can he say man-made? Bit sexist, isn't it? But man-made global warming's a bad thing, isn't it? So man-made, bad thing. That's all right. That's all right. I've just checked the political correct rule book. Predicted that man-made global warming would cause melting glaciers, leading to rapidly rising sea levels that would sink coastal cities and towns. The more dire forecasts have proven to be totally inaccurate, and some glaciers are now growing. Back in June, NASA reported that that a glacier in western Greenland had thickened and had grown for the third year in a row. Well, how explain that to me? Oh, well, it's complicated. Oh, dear. The glacier prediction is by no means the only forecast global warming alarmists have got spectacularly wrong. The end of the 70s, climate experts said that a new ice age was coming. Yes, true. It didn't happen. Oh, dear. It's extraordinary. And, of course, one of the great big fail predictors relating to climate change is Prince Charles, who flies in private jets, but he's royal, so that's okay. So the rest of us that have to stop going on holiday in a plane. Here's the extraordinary level of contribution that Prince Charles is making to save the world. Prince Charles launching initiative to tackle climate change, and he's going to drive from the airport, or be driven, to the Davos conference of the, of course, elite 1%, where they meet every year to decide how they're going to manipulate the world. He's going to make that journey from the airport to the super rich in an electric car. Whoa, what a hero. And of course the electric cars are being pushed by the climate cult, which is an expression of the global cult, because it's all moving towards autonomous vehicles, where the computer will decide where you go and not yourself. And so that it's all a progression. This electric car thing is just a part of the totalitarian tiptoe to autonomous cars. The story says Prince Charles is launching the Sustainable Markets Council. Of course, sustainable is the big buzzword for the global dystopia, to help tackle the world's environmental issues. The 71-year-old royal has long been a champion for environmentalism, and later this month he will launch his new initiative, the Sustainable Markets Council, at the World Economic Forum's meeting at Davos in the Swiss Alps. Well, why he's launching it? Not at somewhere that is public, like calling a news conference and saying this is what he's launching it at a meeting of the 1% or less than 1% in terms of Davos. And it just so happens the whole climate change hoax is being driven by the 1% and the deep inner core of the cult, which connects into the 1%. And so it's great and very comforting that the world is going to be saved by those who are destroying it, and even more, we can breathe easy because he's making the journey from the airport to the 1% in an electric car. Amazing sacrifice the man is making.